What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and the rumors are really heating up about The Mandalorian, about Pedro Pascal, and the tension behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, and it seems like Disney Star Wars just cannot escape this drama. The rumors we heard about Pedro Pascal and him potentially walking away from The Mandalorian midway through filming of Season 2. We're going to talk about this rumor. We're going to break it down. I talked about it a little bit in my Mandalorian trailer breakdown, and then I said, it seems crazy. It seems a little far-fetched, but at the same time, it feels like there could be something real there. And over the past 24 hours, I have heard some things, and we're going to go through it, but let's just say I think this thing might have some legs. Look at this Bounding Into Comics article. Rumor: Pedro Pascal quit filming The Mandalorian Season 2 halfway through production, and it's not just on Bounding Into Comics, it is everywhere right now. Basically, as soon as Grace Randolph, and whatever your feelings may be about Grace Randolph, she's been wrong about some shit, and she has been right about some shit in the past. There is no doubt about either of those things. Whether she's right about this one or not remains to be seen, but like I said, what I have heard basically confirms it. A new rumor claims the Mandalorian actor Pedro Pascal quit filming the show halfway through the second season. The rumor comes from Grace Randolph. Now, these are the reasons that some of this does start to make sense. She talks about that Entertainment Weekly interview that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni sat down and did. It says Mandalorian Season 2, where showrunner Jon Favreau notes Season 2 will introduce a larger story in the world. Favreau explains, the new season is about introducing a larger story in the world. He adds, the stories become less isolated, yet each episode has its own flavor, and hopefully we're bringing a lot more scope to the show. Dave Filoni, everyone's favorite guy, then says, everything gets bigger, the stakes get higher, but also the personal story between the child and Mandalorian develops in a way I think people will enjoy. Then there was this, which I think is really interesting and really telling. Favreau would explain, as we introduce other characters, there are other opportunities to follow different storylines, other than the Mandalorians. The world was really captivated by Game of Thrones and how that evolved as the characters followed different storylines. That's very appealing to me as an audience member. Now, taking that by itself, I think that a lot of people would be down with a Star Wars show that did have that kind of Game of Thrones feel as you follow these different storylines, tensions, big stakes, things like that. However, a show entitled The Mandalorian about one specific character who you've now turned about one specific character and this child, Baby Yoda, that doesn't seem really like the right way to do it. And even I, months ago, when we started hearing all of these rumors about these people that were going to be in Mandalorian, Rex, Ahsoka, Sabine, Boba Fett, all of these people, I made this video. Captain Rex and Sabine Wren also rumored for Star Wars The Mandalorian. How many cameos are there? Because I questioned at the time. I said, listen, this is supposed to be about the Mandalorian. We already have characters we don't know a lot about. We already have Cara Dune. We already have Greef Karga. We already have Moff Gideon. You have these characters we don't really know anything about. We don't know anything about the Mandalorian either. So why would you make that decision to go a different way? Maybe this is starting to make sense. Listen to what Grace Randolph is saying happened and think to yourself, does this make any sense? Randolph notes this evidence to back up her information, which she claims comes from two different sources. She goes on to note that this rumored row with Pascal began when the actor wanted to film a number of scenes with his helmet off. Now, I've seen some people online saying, Pedro, he wouldn't mind going through the discomfort of doing that. He wouldn't mind that. That's not what this is about. This is about actors wanting their faces to be seen. Pedro Pascal, I'm sure, feels he's got an ego just like anybody else. He's the star of this show. He's the star of what a lot of people are saying is the best thing Disney Star Wars has ever done up to this point. He's the star, but he's not very identifiable as the star. He wants to have his helmet off. Randolph explains, while filming Season 2, Pedro Pascal really wanted to have some scenes with his helmet off, but the Mandalorian creative team wouldn't budge on this. Now, if this is true, kudos to Favreau and maybe Filoni too, but kudos to Favreau for not compromising on this. You created this whole atmosphere where you can't take the helmet off. I've talked about why I think that's dumb based on Mandalorians of the past, but you did create it, so if you stick to it, kudos to you. She continues, so Pedro Pascal, from what I've heard from two sources, was frustrated about this and was also pretty darn uncomfortable in the Mando suit on set, so he became difficult. Keep in mind that Pedro Pascal, in some episodes, didn't even appear in the suit at all. It was complete stunt doubles, especially in one episode that we know of. So he wasn't even in it a lot in the first season. And the final straw, though, listen to this. Even though he was difficult to be around on set, the final straw was that he went to Lucasfilm to try to get them to intervene on his behalf. He went to Kathleen Kennedy, right? Pedro Pascal went to Kathleen Kennedy to complain about what Favreau was making him do. Now, we've heard rumors about the tension within Lucasfilm, the tension between Favreau and Kathleen Kennedy. This would kind of go to say, yeah, it definitely feels like there could be some tension there. And you combine this with Lucasfilm already trying to be involved with story aspects of Season 2, including focusing more on standalone episodes rather than making them more connected, which I've heard the Mandalorian creative team wanted to do, which was kind of happening at the end of Season 1. She then says that Pascal was asked to leave halfway through filming. So when Pedro Pascal went to Lucasfilm, the Mando team was like, you know what? You should just go. And Pedro Pascal did, and that happened halfway through filming. And she does say the breakup was pretty bad with both sides upset. Now, this may seem far-fetched, and I know a lot of people, take Griggs Randolph with a grain of salt, and that's what you should do. This is a rumor just like any other. But as I stated, when I first heard it, I thought that it could make a lot of sense considering some of the problems we have had, considering the delays with the trailer, considering the fact that we have heard about these production issues, about a lot of reshoots going on for Mandalorian Season 2. Imagine if that was the case. Imagine if Pedro Pascal actually did leave halfway through filming this season. Imagine if he said, all right, bye. They're not done filming what he was supposed to film. Now, what do you do if you're Jon Favreau? I mean, you got to make it about other people. You got to spread the storyline out. You got to spread the season out. Follow other characters. Introduce other characters. And what I have heard, not from Grace Randolph, but from other people who are connected, say that, yeah, this has essentially all happened just like she says it has. So there's a lot of people talking about this right now. I think there's a lot of validity to this rumor, and it makes a lot of sense when you match up all of the problems that they have been having between the trailer, between the rumors about all of the reshoots and everything else, and deciding to bring in all these random characters in a show called The Mandalorian. Now, you guys have heard me talk about this a lot. I'm not the biggest fan of The Mandalorian. I think it's extremely average, mediocre. There's a lot of problems with the plot. But one thing that I do like is that we are not talking about identity politics. We are simply talking about Star Wars. We're not talking about them insulting their fans. We're simply talking about Star Wars. And is this a good Star Wars movie or Star Wars TV show? Is it a good Star Wars story? And I think that is the most important thing when it's all said and done. What's going to happen with Mando Season 2? I don't know. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt, but from everything I have heard behind the scenes, as well as things other people are reporting, this sounds like it's pretty legit. Will someone come out and BTFO the story and say, oh no, there's no truth to that? I don't know. Pedro Pascal hasn't said anything about it yet, but he's also been promoting The Mandalorian, like he's probably contractually obligated to, and he's probably under NDAs. Who knows? Maybe this is all, there's a lot of smoke, but maybe there's actually no fire. We'll all see when The Mandalorian Season 2 comes out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.